We are about to break the limits of the game. Thanks to Miracle Ejector, we no longer locked into the hero monsters. That means we can call upon power from any archetype we desire. Today, I'm going to show you how to summon monsters from completely different archetypes and create a hero board never seen before. So the main deck will be same as usual, you can change whatever you want, but the extra deck will be totally different. We are going to use Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon today, and this card inflicts damage to our opponent each time they activate something. We are also going to summon number F0 Utopic Future Zexal. This card will give us protection and some other plays which we are going to talk about in the combo session. You are already familiar with Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. We have a bunch of plays with this card. There will be another endport that I'll be able to summon this card instead of F0. Now the issue is, right now we have 20 extra deck cards, so I need to remove 5 of them. That's why I'm going to exclude Eagle to the Darkest Night engine. I added Absolute Zero and Acid because there's a combo line that I would like to show it to you, so that's why they will be in the deck list. But these are also optional. I'm not going to use Cross Crusader and Infernal Device during the combo session, so that's why I'm going to exclude them right now. Also Shining Neon Swingman. And finally, I'm going to remove Trinity. Now, this isn't the final version of the extra deck, obviously, because there are some cards that we should always have it, such as Shining Neon Swingman. For the moment, because I'm going to show you the combos, let's just keep it like that. So since you're already familiar with the beginning of the combo, I just skipped that part. We activate Vyon's effect and send Shadow Mist to the graveyard. Normally we would like to search for Elemental Hero Neos, but this time instead we are going to search for Masquerade Furnace, and we are going to activate Vyon's effect so that we can search for Polymerization by banishing Shadow Mist. Now, do not touch Duskrow because we are going to use him as fusion material, so just use whatever level 4 monsters that you have in your field and XC summon into any rank 4 monster that you have in your extra deck, okay? I have Starliege Photon Blast Dragon in my extra deck, so that's why I have used them. But the summoning conditions should be comfortable, and also the monster that you summon shouldn't lock you into any restriction, okay? Now, because we control 2 Xyz monsters with the same rank, we can actually get rid of these monsters and Xyz summon into F0 Utopic Future Zexal. Now we are going to talk about this card's effect in a minute. First I want to finish my board, and we are going to activate Polymerization. We are going to fusion summon into Sunrise. We need 2 hero monsters with different attributes. Obviously we want to always use Fountain because when he is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, we can set Mask Change from my deck. And the second material can be either Duskrow or Furnace, it doesn't matter, but I always prefer Furnace because it's easier to chain block my effects. Now we need to resolve this chain. Just put Sunrise as Chain Link 1, put Furnace as Chain Link 2, and put Fountain as Chain Link 3, so that you can chain block the first 2 effects. Now, because we control 2 level 7 monsters on our field, we can actually XC summon one more time and summon Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Finally, we are going to activate Miracle Fusion. And we got 2 options here. You can either summon Contrast-Rio Chaos, and you can negate the card on the field, and then chain with Mask Change, special summon Dark Lord to your field, and you know the rest. But this time, I'm going to fusion summon Absolute Zero, and you will see why. The summoning conditions are 1 hero monster plus 1 water monster. We have a Kodolphin in our graveyard, so if you want, you can banish it, but I don't suggest, because if you do that, that means you won't be able to activate and shuffle from your graveyard. So that's why I'm going to choose Fountain, and you can either banish Vyon or Duskrow, but I'm going to use Duskrow, and you will see why. Make sure that you summon all of your monsters in attack position, because in the next turn our main phase will be skipped because we have activated number 62's second effect. We can resolve and shuffle from our graveyard. We can return Stratos and Aqua Dolphin back to our deck and draw a random card. And we can pass our turn. Now, let's analyze this board. What we have in our field. We have our new edition boss monster number F0. This card original rank is always treated as 1. Gains attack and defense equal to the combined ranks of all Xyz monsters we control and in our opponent's graveyard. So let's just ignore our opponent for a moment. If you control only this card, that means this card will have only 500 attack and defense points. But because we also control Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, which is a rank 7 monster, that means his attack will go up to 4k, which has a lot of attack points. But that's not all. Your opponent's monsters cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. So that means this boss monster has a taunt effect. our opponent has to get rid of this card if they want to reach Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon or Absolute Zero. So obviously they cannot destroy it by battle easily, but what about card effects? Well, our opponent cannot target other cards on the field with card effects. Flare Metal Dragon is untargetable. Absolute Zero is untargetable. Even our set card is untargetable. Even our opponent cannot target their own cards on the field. So this is a huge protection when you think about it. Now unfortunately Zexal is still targetable, but let's just read the last part. It says, once per turn, when your opponent activates a card or effect on the field, you can detach one material from this card, take control one monster your opponent controls. Also for the rest of this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Guys, this is huge. Even if our opponent targets Zexal, it won't be able to destroy it by card effects, it won't be able to destroy it by battle, and it has a huge amount of attack points. So it's not going to be easy for my opponent to beat our boss monster. The steal effect is permanent, okay? It doesn't work like brain control. It doesn't target my opponent's monster, and also we own the monster permanently. So this is huge, and that's why I like this card. And also the artwork is just phenomenal. Look at it, such a masterpiece. Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon can protect itself against card effects when it has materials. We are not gonna use his last effect, so that's why it always has materials, so that means it can never be destroyed by card effects. But here's the catch. Because of Zexal's effect, it cannot be targeted by card effects as well. So that means this is just a double protection. And if you try to destroy this card by battle, well, you have to beat Zexal first. So this card is super safe right now, and each time my opponent activates a card effect, we are just going to burn them. How cool is that? So finally we have Absolute Zero. Because we have Mask Change in our field, we can actually combine it with Mask Hero Acid's effect. So that means we're gonna send him to the graveyard on purpose, then we can resolve his destruction effect, and also because we special summon Mask Hero Acid to our field, we can also destroy as many spells and traps in my opponent's field. So that means we are going to wipe out our opponent's board entirely. Now, we don't have Dark Law or Omni Negate effect, but I believe that this board is more than enough to beat your opponent. Now, can't our opponent activate Super Polymerization and get rid of this board? Well, it's not that possible because we have a Light Attribute Master, we have a Dark Attribute Master, and we have a Water Attribute Master. So that means this board is safe against Super Polymerization as well. But obviously, if they find a way to get rid of Flare Metal Dragon, that means Utopic Future Zexal will lose all of its attack points. Now I'm going to show you a different end board. So until now I have applied the standard hero combo, and now I will link summon into Cross Sheep because I need to have at least one level 4 monster in my field. I don't need Dugar's anymore since I'm not going to summon Zexal, so that's why I'm going to get rid of these two monsters. Now we can activate Polymerization and Fusion Summon. Summoning Coordinations are two elemental hero monsters with different attributes. And we are going to resolve this chain. Always put Cross Sheep Chain Link 1 if you want to special summon Stratos from my graveyard so that you don't miss the activation time. Now, the monster that I want to search from my deck is another Mask Hero, which is Furnace. Now we can activate Flame Wingman's effect and special summon Sunrise so that we can access for Miracle Fusion. And also we need 2 level 7 monsters in our field, so that's why. We can chain with Furnace. We can special summon him to the field, or you can summon Furnace later, that doesn't matter at all. Since Furnace and Sunrise is on the field, and since we don't need them anymore, we can actually exit summon into Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Now, before you summon Starliege Photon Blast Dragon, I actually want to link summon into Verta Anaconda, and I have to use Stratos as link material because I need him in my graveyard, so that I can fusion summon Thunder Giant and activate his effect, special summon Stratos from my graveyard back, and make another search from my deck. So we're gonna banish Flaming Man and Neos, and now we can activate Thunder Giant's effect and special summon Stratos, make another search. But the reason why I wanna search for Ferris is because I wanna dump Fountain to my graveyard and set Mask Change from my deck. But first, I'm going to exit summon into Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. Since we control 2 level 4 monsters, that's not an issue. We satisfy the summoning condition. And now we can activate Ferris effect and send Fountain to my graveyard, so that you can special summon him. Now, before you activate Ferris effect, you need to know that once you activate the second part of the Ferris, you will be locked yourself into the hero monsters for the rest of this turn. Since from now on, I'm only going to summon hero monsters, activating his second effect won't give me any issue because the restriction won't affect me, and also having increase in my field could be beneficial for the later plays. Again, the second part is not crucial. Now we can finally activate Verta Anaconda because we have summoned everything else. I'm going to send Fusion Dust into the graveyard so that I can fusion summon DPE by sending Denier and Malicious to my graveyard. I don't want to have Verta Anaconda in my field, so that's why I'm just going to destroy both of them. and resurrect DPE later. We can set favorite contact, we can resolve and shuffle from my graveyard, return Thunder Giant and Aqua Dolphin so that you can use both of them later, and draw a random card, and end your turn. During the draw phase, if you like, you can activate Mask Change and send Ferris to the graveyard so that you can Spacious Summon Darklow. And during the standby phase, you can Spacious Summon DPE back from your graveyard to the field. Now let's analyze this board one more time. We have Flare Metal Dragon, which can protect itself against card effects and it can burn our opponent each time they activate a card effect. We have Starliege Photon Blast Dragon instead of Zexal. This card makes my other monsters cannot be targeted or cannot be destroyed by card effects. Now unfortunately, since we control Sunrise in our field, that means his attack points stuck at 1800, so that means this card cannot give protection to itself, but that's okay. And we have our Floodgate, which is any card sent to your opponent's graveyard is banished instant, which is huge. We have DPE, so we can pop a card on the field, and also monsters my opponent controls lose 200 attack points for each hero card in our graveyard. Now we have 2 follow-up plays. With the help of favorite contact, we can just summon whatever we want. Now, what are the weaknesses? Well, obviously super polymerization, because we control too many dark monsters in our field, so that means our opponent can just get rid of all of them. But every board should have a weakness, you know. There is no a perfect board. That's the drawback, but it's okay. This board is still strong. The Darklow Floodgate effect strong, the protection, the burn effect, like you have everything that you need to win the match. That's everything I wanted to show you today. As you can see, Miracle Ejector opens up endless possibilities for heroes. Since restrictions are no longer an issue, we can pair them with almost any archetype we want. If things keep going this way, heroes could easily become a top tier deck. But honestly, I don't even want it to become full meta. Otherwise, game devs will just hit our cards on the ban list. Right now, it's in a sweet spot where it's balanced, super fun, and can still go head to head with any meta deck. If you have any other crazy ideas or builds, leave them in the comments and I might try to build them next. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.